because it looked like Caitlin Clark went to Chicago and took the city over.
The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese took yet another dramatic turn, and this time, it wasn't just another on-court clash, it was a full-on cultural takeover. In what was supposed to be Angel Reese's moment to shine, in her city, in front of her fans, the story flipped into something far more humiliating. Because while Caitlin Clark didn't even play in the Fever's latest destruction of the Chicago sky, she didn't need to. She still took over the night, the city, and the narrative, all without putting on a jersey. And the best part? She did it with class, charisma, and an unshakable presence that screamed superstar, while Angel Reese was once again missing in action. The irony couldn't have been more glaring. Flashback to All-Star Weekend, when Angel Reese, decked out in her Reebok campaign gear, boldly proclaimed her trap takeover mantra, "Come to your trap, take over your trap." It was a clever slogan meant to assert dominance. But as time passed, it became more of a punchline than a promise.
People are showing up just to witness Caitlin Clark. It's like she's the damn Beatles.
Because in the most literal sense, Clark did exactly that. Walked into Reese's house and made it her own. And it wasn't just about basketball. It was about presence, influence, and the ability to shift a room without saying a word. Even injured and sidelined, Caitlin Clark didn't fade into the background. In fact, she became the background. The Fever rolled into Chicago, and the energy around the arena was electric. Not because the Sky were playing, but because fans were desperately hoping they might catch a glimpse of Clark. Some weren't even sure she would be there, but they came anyway, standing in lines, swarming the sidewalks, waiting for a chance at an autograph. Clark responded by signing hundreds, smiling, posing for photos, connecting with kids. And in doing so, she transformed a regular game day into a feverish spectacle. Not because she had to, because that's just what she does. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was nursing yet another mysteriously timed back injury, this one conveniently pulling her from the spotlight as Clark turned up the wattage without even stepping on the hardwood.
Angel, pray up. Me bound Reese, I hope you listening. It looks like that line.
The same Reese who's been so vocal online, chasing headlines and talking smoke, suddenly vanished from her own city's most high-profile game. She didn't show up for her team. She didn't show up for the fans. And she sure didn't show up for the narrative she's been trying to write since the beginning of the season. What we got instead was silence from her and yet another missed opportunity to prove she belongs in the same sentence as Caitlin Clark. And while Caitlin was building community outside the arena, her teammates were sending a very different message inside of it. Kelsey Mitchell, in particular, played like a woman possessed. From the moment the game tipped off, she lit up the court with confidence, precision, and a deep understanding of what was at stake. 7 for 10 from three-point land. A career-high 35 points. She wasn't just hitting shots, she was making statements. Every bucket echoed the same theme. Indiana's success isn't a one-woman show. This is a team. A real one. And Mitchell is just as capable of taking over when the spotlight demands it. Aaliyah Boston wasn't far behind either. Her stat line, 14 points and 11 boards, wasn't flashy, but it was clinical. Every rebound, every bucket, was about dominance and control. She anchored the paint and made it look easy. And Arie McDonald, once an afterthought in the Fever's rotation, played with fire and purpose off the bench, putting up double digits and giving Indiana an extra gear when they needed it. The Fever bench, once a question mark, has turned into a reliable engine that keeps the momentum alive even when the stars are off the floor. Let's not sugarcoat it, Chicago got cooked. The final score said 93-78, but it felt more like a beatdown in the 30-point range. Indiana controlled the tempo, dictated the pace, and never allowed the Sky to sniff a comeback. Every time Chicago tried to make a push, Indiana slammed the door shut. The Fever hit nearly 50% from beyond the arc, moved the ball with rhythm and vision, and forced 17 turnovers. That's not just a good night. That's championship basketball. And here's the real stinger, Angel Reese's squad looked lost. Disconnected. Like a team going through the motions with no clear leader, no strategy, and no heart. This was supposed to be a defining moment, a bounce-back opportunity, a chance to hold home court and build belief. But what we saw was a team wilting under pressure and a star player hiding.
And that wasn't even a word. Wasn't this supposed to be Barbie night or something? Come on, Caitlyn walked in and took
behind cryptic social media posts and conveniently vague injuries. Angel Reese has spent months positioning herself as Caitlin Clark's rival. The media's pushed the narrative. The league tried to sell it. But it's not real. It's not even close. Clark isn't just outperforming her, she's outclassing her in every metric that matters. Ticket sales, Clark. TV ratings, Clark. Fan engagement, jersey sales, public interest, all Clark. And now, even without stepping foot on the court, she's taking over cities that supposedly belong to her rival. The difference between Clark and Reese was laid bare in Chicago. While Reese ducked the moment, Caitlyn stood tall, literally and figuratively. And her teammates, motivated by the same fire she brings every night, played like they had something to prove. Kelsey Mitchell was the embodiment of poise and power. Aaliyah Boston was a pillar of strength. Michaela Timpson and Lexi Hull gave critical bench minutes, and the entire Fever squad played with the confidence of a team that knows their...
So Caitlin Clark is not playing the game. And like, by the way, like, people didn't know whether or not Caitlin was
building something bigger than one win. Waiting for the future. We are the future. And more importantly, it was a reminder that stars don't just shine in the spotlight, they create it. Caitlin Clark isn't chasing the camera. The camera follows her. And Reese. She's still trying to find the lens. The so-called rivalry is dead. It never really lived, but this game served as the final nail in its coffin. And if there was any doubt left about who owns the league's present and its future, those doubts were erased on a night when Clark didn't even need to lace up. Her presence was the headline. Her absence was still louder than anyone else's voice. That's what being a superstar really looks like. Chicago. They're spiraling. 5 straight losses. A rotation in shambles. No clear identity. And a locker room that looks like it's slowly losing hope. The difference between these two franchises couldn't be clearer. One is ascending, building, thriving. The other is unraveling. Indiana's rise is built on more than talent. It's structure. It's leadership. It's buy-in from top to bottom. And when Clark returns, it's going to be a problem for everyone else. Because now, the Fever know they don't need her to survive. They need her to dominate. And that's what makes this team a nightmare for any playoff hopeful. They're proving it night in and night out. This isn't just hype. This is real. This is earned. So when Angel Reese stares at another blank stat line, posts another cryptic tweet, or tries to spin the narrative in her favor, the rest of us will remember the truth. The spotlight doesn't lie. And in Chicago, it pointed to a very different future than the one Reese envisioned. It belongs to Caitlin Clark. Always did. Always will. If you've been watching this unfold and finally see the clear difference between manufactured hype and undeniable greatness, then go ahead and comment, "I've got the fever." Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the truth behind the drama. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about legacy. And Clark's legacy, it's already being written in bold.